KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss you. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn!
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Hey, 42 here. You've seen stalking in movies and on TV, but unless you've had an obvious stalking experience, most of you will probably think that it's something that never happens to you. We think that stalking is something that only happens to other people. But there's a good chance that you've been a victim of stalking. In most cases, however, you will never be able to know for sure. The internet and social media make stalking so easy for the stalker, yet so difficult to identify for the victim. Over 7 million people are stalked in the US each year. But how does a stalker manipulate their prey? What drives them to stalk in the first place? Let's step inside the mind of a stalker and uncover some disturbing psychology. The vast majority of stalking, roughly 80%, is domestic stalking, meaning the perpetrator is someone the victim knows, a friend, family, or most commonly, an ex-partner. Stalking can sometimes be mild or just very well concealed, and thus most stalking victims don't actually realise they've been stalked. If you want to assess whether or not you've ever been stalked, simply ask yourself, have you ever received an unwanted gift? Or perhaps a series of strange phone calls or anonymous mail? Then you've probably been stalked. In domestic stalking cases involving ex-partners, the obsessive behaviour usually begins following a breakup, as I'm sure you probably already know. But what's quite interesting is the psychological process that the man or woman in question goes through to begin stalking the other. Stalkers, following a breakup, often report a feeling very similar to the grief felt after the death of a loved one. Stalking usually begins when one person attempts to keep in contact with the ex and they don't reciprocate or straight up ignore them. Therefore, they feel as though that person is forever lost to them, similar to a death. The grief this causes can, in some people, trigger a panic response. Many stalkers actually equate it to being remarkably similar to a panic attack. This panic causes them to become obsessed about trying everything they can to re-establish that lost channel of communication. And when you get people with a borderline personality disorder, which is typically diagnosed in around 2% of the population, you have a recipe for disaster. because such people will take that obsession to anywhere it needs to go to achieve the goal of gaining their ex's attention once again, even if that involves acts of extreme violence. Unlike stranger stalkers, who we'll talk about in just a moment, domestic stalkers tend to act out impulsively instead of in a premeditated manner. Impulsive behaviour, however, is usually far more dangerous. You can identify when an ex's obsession with you has crossed over into dangerous territory by examining the current state of their life. You see, as a domestic stalker's obsession levels increase, the rest of their life falls apart around them. It's consistent in stalking cases for the stalker to lose their job as a result of their obsession, and they will also stop eating and sleeping. What makes domestic stalkers so dangerous is that they truly believe that they are the victim. Here's the thing: a domestic stalker never thinks they are a stalker. Consequently, you can never stop a stalker by calling them out on it and saying, "You're a stalker, so please stop stalking me." It's only likely to make the problem worse because they will feel more victimized. Whether they actually are the victim or not depends on the circumstances of each individual case.
This is what's happening in relationships, y'all. This is crazy. I think crazy is politically incorrect now. I don't think we should say crazy. This is different. Do you see why I get so deep on the relationship topics when I start asking about how to peel these layers back first within yourself and then being able to recognize them in others? This is deep. Monitoring spirits, hour number 2. Traditional stalking, the regular, yeah, I know where she get her hair done and I drove by there. That version versus what people are calling spiritual monitoring. It's all starting to come together as one big mess to me. We've got Attila from Houston, Texas. Attila, you were dropping some jewels, and I really need more contextual understanding of this.
Okay. A big part of this, right? I think when you're talking about monitoring spirits, they bank on your naivete, meaning that you're probably still talking to them, especially if it's a family member or a significant other. And they also bank on you not fighting back. So once you start praying about something, don't be surprised if some people show up.
Wait.
The biggest...
Once you start doing what?
Mm-hmm. Once you start praying about it, Don't be surprised if the people show up. And what I mean by praying, let's say you're going through something in your relationship with someone, right? And you're kind of getting this feeling, like I said, of being watched or just being, you're not at ease. Something about it is just weird to you, right? And so if you have a strong prayer life, I really do feel like your prayers do reach out, so to speak. And so, yeah, they will know. And I don't think I'm not saying that they're consciously aware, but I've literally seen this happen where, like, I pray about a situation and that person will literally show up. So it's kind of weird. But not to get too woo-woo. But
I'm scared. Go ahead, I'm listening.
You're not scared. Look, all the things you didn't see, and I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're not scared. The key is not to be fearful. That's a low vibration. Anytime you're scared, I mean, like, to me, you're honestly kind of giving them fuel in a sense.
Well, let me ask you
that
this.
away.
Let me ask you this though, because I'm from the old school. Big Mama taught my mama, and my mama taught me. They said, "Baby, none of that stuff matters if you don't believe it. You belong to Jesus, child. If you don't believe it, it has no power over you whatsoever." Is that true?
No, absolutely.
Big Mama was wrong. Oh no.
I think that things, because I was taught that something similar as well. I mean, like, just pray over it. Nobody taught me about fasting. And when I say fasting, I'm talking about not eating. Okay, put the fork down.
Put it down.
I'm just saying, no, nobody mentioned that, okay? But no, I don't think that's true. I mean, it's kind of like they say, ignorance of the law. I forgot the rest of the blah, blah, blah. Somehow ignorance of the law does not mean that you can transgress the law. Essentially, if I didn't see the sign and I sped past it, I'm still accountable for that. So no, I don't believe
ignorance
that
of the law is no excuse.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, like, again, like, it's not the boogeyman. I think you need to really understand that. It's not the boogeyman. These are entities that can come into anyone. I mean, to me, again, if your frequency is low, if you are dining on gossip, if you are, and I say dining and like consuming, if you are dining on, depressive thoughts, whatever it is, your thought life, like, to me, that's like blood to a vampire.
Well,
you know
wait,
what I mean? Like, when
I got more questions now, because you just keep opening up Pandora's box. What you're basically saying is telepathy is real.
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, like,
that's what you're saying to me right now.
In a sense, yes. If we're talking about just like spiritually, right? Your connections with people, when you are intimately connected with someone, what does that really mean to be intimate with somebody? It's not just sharing, stories about what happened to you in your childhood. I think it's a lot deeper than that. I do believe that, and if you want to add the physical component in there, you start sleeping with somebody, you are really connected to that person. Okay, I've experienced this. I have literally had dreams about a person that I was dealing with and woke up in pain from the dream. I mean, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. You wouldn't think that would be possible, right? But, I also feel like some of this comes with spiritual discernment as well. Like, everyone doesn't really have eyes to see and ears to hear, right? So if you're walking around spiritually deaf, dumb, and blind, this kind of stuff is going to be like nonsense to you. So there's that part of it as well. But, I mean, common sense stuff. Be careful who you're sharing your business with. Watch the patterns in your life, right? If you tell someone about a job interview and this person is kind of janky, and then all of a sudden you don't get that job, I mean, I'm just saying. Like, if you tell someone about, your business with your relationship with somebody, and then all of a sudden there's more problems in your relationship after that, that doesn't necessarily mean that person has been talking mess about you. It could just be them casting dispersion on your relationship. And you don't really know who has secret animosity against you, because let's think about it. I mean, like, for someone to betray you, that would imply that they were close to you at some point.
Wait, stop.
Right?
Can this also... Now, like I said, the Pandora's box is happening. My mind is just moving like, what in the... So, if a person sabotages a relationship, is this an extension of monitoring? They have to have some type of intel in order to sabotage it, right?
You mean actively or passively?
Actively and passively and or actively.
I mean, I would say yes. I mean, you don't know what that person is dealing with either, right? Like, if they have people attached to them, family members, whoever, that, again, don't like your relationship, or there's some issues there, whatever the case, and they're speaking words of discouragement over that person, or, like, it doesn't have to always be so, he said this and they did it. Sometimes it's literally just thoughts that are put into your mind. Because you think about it, in order to be a monitoring spirit, I would have to have the intel. So people that have the intel about your situation, be that someone you're attached to or someone your person is attached to, I definitely believe that can affect your relationship. And so, again, when that energy is off, you got to question, who are they connected to? Who they've been talking to? Who was it? Tyrese's ex-wife. She even said, well, that her friends or whatever kind of like made her, I shouldn't say made her, because no one can make you divorce your spouse. That's an act that you take. But people can definitely, I think, put bugs in your ear, in a sense, be a monitoring spirit. But at the same time, you opened up the door. You thinking this your friend, this your homegirl, this your da-da-da-da-da, telling her all this and that. And then next thing you know, it's a wrap.
Oh my
goodness. I mean, I say all that to say, it's some of this is spooky spiritual, and some of it is really just common sense. You know what I mean?
One final question then. Who's more hip to this information in our community? Black men or black women?
I've seen black men and black women talk about this actually.
I said who
it's not
is
about
more.
Like, the gender.
And
I don't think it's a more or less.
No,
I
let
think
me
it's
just
a spiritual matter.
Let me just say this. I believe that men are less spiritual than women. I believe brothers is out here grinding. Brothers is out here. I never heard no brother sit down and say, you know what? It's some spiritual monitoring going on in here. I have yet to see it. And I'm not saying that there aren't brothers out there that do have a deep knowledge of this. I'm not saying, but I would wager that women, our sisters, are more tapped into this than our brothers are. I would wager, in my opinion.
I agree with that. I do think that part of that is because there's an emotional aspect to this too, right? If you're not really emotionally in touch with yourself, it is really hard to tap into this type of information, in my opinion.
Okay, so back to my original point for bringing that up. Brothers, run! They praying over you, brother. You don't even know. Brother, get your stuff and run, man. Oh, Lord.
I mean, okay, an easy fix for that. Don't be so caught up on the TNA. That's real simple.
Then that's fair.
But people know what you like, okay? The women that are, quote unquote, coming after you, you're not a victim in that. They know what you like, and because you're so attached to the 3D, they're just using it against you. That's real easy. That's child's play for a lot of these witches out here.
For a lot of these witches out here. Hey, Nzinga says they're praying, preying. They're not praying for you. They are praying on you. Attila, guess what you just did?
I brought Houston in the building.
Whoo, Lord. Houston, Texas is in the building. Do you want to bring your city in the building? Everybody is welcome. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what politics is supposed to produce.
This election year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the place for politics, unapologetically progressive politics. And we've got two of the best and brightest to help you cut through all the noise. Weekdays at 1 p.m., it's a More Perfect Union with Dr. Nee Cordelai-Corte. And at 4 p.m., it's Areva Martin in real time. He's the university professor and distinguished member of the White House Correspondents Association. She's a best-selling author and Harvard-trained civil rights lawyer. And they are both here every day to help guide you through all the this year, because you know it's going to get deep. Get your politics on weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. with a More Perfect Union, hosted by Dr. Nee Cordelai-Corte and Areva Martin in real time, only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your flag. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, boy.
Well, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question asks, what is borderline stalking? So I've seen this question a few times in kind of related questions. Another related question here would be, what is fatal attraction syndrome? Which of course isn't a real syndrome, it's just a term people use sometimes to really refer to the stalking behavior that we sometimes see with borderline personality disorder. The reason we see the term fatal attraction in there is because of a 1987 movie by the same name with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. So this movie portrayed behavior that could be attributed to borderline personality disorder, and we've seen other movies that kind of followed the same pattern. So really what this question is getting at is, what is the relationship between borderline personality disorder and stalking? And I think when we think of borderline personality disorder, people think of the frantic efforts to avoid abandonment and kind of connect that to stalking. So first I'll start with the definition of stalking. With stalking, we see an offender who exhibits chronic nuisance behaviors that result in deleterious emotional or physical effects on a victim. And it's believed to come from an illogical or irrational fascination or preoccupation with an individual, and sometimes it can rise to the level of psychosis. So there can be reality testing problems involved with stalking. Now, sometimes in the research literature we see another term used instead of stalking called unwanted pursuit behavior. And this is similar, there's a lot of overlap with stalking, but usually unwanted pursuit behavior is thought of as more widespread and less severe as compared to stalking. Also, stalking does not necessarily result from an intimacy motive, and it's always illegal. Unwanted pursuit behavior doesn't necessarily cause fear or threaten the victim, and it's not always illegal. One way we could think about unwanted pursuit behavior and its relationship to stalking could be unwanted pursuit behavior, again, like I said, isn't necessarily illegal, but if it occurs for too long a period of time, it could rise to the level of stalking. So one tactic, as they're called, with unwanted pursuit behavior may not be illegal, may not even be abnormal, but if it continues for a while, then we might have stalking. So we see in the media that the stereotype of a stalker involves a stranger who stalks a celebrity. But what we see in reality is relational stalking, not stranger stalking, is the most prototypical form of stalking behavior. 80% of all stalking cases involve victims and perpetrators who had some type of prior relationship, and in half of all stalking scenarios, we see the individuals had a prior romantic relationship. Now, some of the descriptive statistics around stalking are really ranges rather than precise numbers, because we see a lot of different studies on this topic and a lot of variation in terms of the results. For example, around 8 to 25% of women will be a victim of stalking at some point in their lives, and about 2 to 11% of men will be victims at some point in their lives. Now, with unwanted pursuit behavior, we see that 37% of ex-partners exhibit at least one of these tactics after a failed relationship. So unwanted pursuit behavior is remarkably common compared to stalking. Also, we see a number of benign tactics associated with unwanted pursuit behavior, like watching or monitoring or making exaggerated expressions of affection. With stalking, we see behaviors that are often considered more serious, as I indicated before. And if we look at the behaviors...
Boy, this gets deeper than Atlantis. The voice of reason, man. This is crazy. Well, I don't want to keep saying crazy, but I'm from a different generation. We say everything was crazy, right? It's a connotative thing. I don't want to use the denotation to offend anybody. Wow, but this is deep. How do you know if someone is a monitoring spirit, aka nosy, all up in the beeswax? I've already said, listen, anytime you enter into a relationship, it is with a stalker. I'm just saying, for most people who ain't healed, if you insecure, you gonna stalk your significant other. You gonna stalk your significant other. I'm sorry. All right. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. They've been on for a long time. Twan, Jacksonville, Florida. It's your time to shine. Talk to me.
Greetings, sir. How are you doing this evening?
I'm alive and well, my friend. I'm alive and well.
Oh, that's what's up. That's good to hear. All right. My story begins a while ago. I got this thing called ether in me about 2011. With the heavy vibrations in the body, major pulsating and everything. And then when I was on Facebook, this guy, the 13th son, came into the building and started posting videos on my feed on how he was going to help me transition. He was telling me stories on how the vibration and the pulsating in my body meant that my Merkaba was activating and stuff like that. So I kind of believed everything he was telling me from there on in, and then it just turned out to be a whole mess after that.
Wait, stop. This is about to get real deep. Twan. Is that how I say your name, Twan? This is about to get deep. Well, listen, hold tight. Stay with me. When we come forward, we're going back to Jacksonville, Florida, because apparently my man Twan got a story to tell.
Space and joy. Who's up my bed, mama, girls and boys? Life is precious, baby, love is so real. I can take a break up if you say that you can. Run away, his pride was too strong. Started raining, baby, the birds were gone.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The U.S. Coast Guard says search and rescue efforts have ended for the 6 construction workers who have been missing since the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed in Baltimore. The bridge span went down at around 1:30 Tuesday morning after it was struck by a cargo ship. Officials say based on the length of time since the collapse and water temperatures, they do not believe any of the workers have survived. Federal agents say they found guns while raiding the houses of Sean Diddy Combs. The black rapper is facing 2 lawsuits accusing him of sex trafficking and having sex with minors. Homeland Security raided his Los Angeles and Miami homes on Monday, and NBC News reports firearms were found at both properties. Diddy's attorney released a statement saying Monday's raids were a gross overuse of military-level force and added neither Diddy nor his family members have been arrested. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary hair? Visit your local SoCal FS Cut and Color salon today and let their team of expert stylists pamper you with affordable luxury. Get a free shampoo with every cut. Book your appointment today at fantasticsands.com.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580, where climate is king.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
narcissists will stalk you on social media. A lot of times they'll end up stalking because they don't believe what you're actually putting up there. They don't believe that you're happy because in their mind, you still want them. In their mind, your best life was when you were with them and you can't do any better than them. So even to the fact that like there's been narcissists that they've seen online a person get married and they're like, oh, they're just faking it. Like they didn't even get married. They're just doing that to try to be able to hurt me. Because you have to remember, they take everything and they're going to try to twist it around and put it in their mind that they're the number one person. So they'll do that oftentimes. Other times they'll stalk just to be able to try to have control over someone, to be able to still obsess over someone, to try to get a supply back, to try to reverse Hoover a person so that they'll end up contacting them or they'll end up going back and forth in exchange, whatever it might be. Other times they'll literally just stalk the person on social media just creepily just to see what's going on or just to mess with them.
What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to yet another episode of A Narcissist Explains. I am diagnosed self-aware narcissist Lee Hammock, known as Mental Healness across all social media platforms. I use my platform to raise awareness for NPD, get more people into therapy, like myself, 4 years psychotherapy, pretty going strong, flexing on them. And also validate the victims and survivors of, of this disorder and the cluster B disorders as well. This series is dedicated to making my TikToks and YouTube shorts longer. They are 60 seconds or less. This will be a lot longer than 60 seconds. So, the TikTok you just watched was me. The feature is called Duet, y'all. So, that's me duetting or sharing the video of another self-aware narcissist named Ben Taylor. He's on TikTok. He's on YouTube. You can find his information in the description of this video. His raw motivations on YouTube everywhere, So he's another self-aware narcissist. He gives his perspective. Cluster B Milkshake is another one. I'll put her information in the description as well. But that video was about stalking on social media, or online, or in person, or over the internet, or using other people. Like the key basis of this video right here is that narcissists don't want to let people go. One point blank period, 100% of the time. Like if they're stalking you, if they're watching you online, they still, a lot of narcissists think that they own you or that you belong to them. So they are trying to, in their minds or they're trying to exert their ownership on you by still following you on social media. That's why I tell y'all to block. I don't want to block. They make it feel like they told me if I block them, it's childish. How is blocking childish? Blocking allows you to heal. If you block somebody, that's cutting off.
Lee Hammock going ham. Man, this is a really nuanced topic. It's a nuanced discussion. We're talking about real stalking in the real world. People sitting outside your job when that kind of stuff. But we're also talking about energetic, spiritual stalking. All of it is here. The spirit of stalking. This is big, man. This is big. Let me get back to Jacksonville. Twan was telling us a little something. He had a story cooking. I hope he remembers where he left off. Twan, Jacksonville, get in here.
Yes, sir. I believe where I left off is that this guy, you can actually see his videos on YouTube. It's called The 13th Son. He gives all this good information about getting back into nature. What else he be saying? Killing parasites, stop eating meat, try to level up and everything. And then after a few years go by, he starts switching the message up after we, fed into all the nonsense he was talking. Then he was saying he was going too hard on the meat eaters, and it's okay to eat meat because it's in the scripture. You can eat the chicken and all these other stuff, And then he was saying you can, another thing that was crazy, he got us putting up these sigils, what you call it, those pyramids of protection, he calls it, where we put a picture inside of a pyramid and some copper pennies around it. It was like some witchcraft stuff. Yeah, so there was a lot going on within the
I'm getting scared
or whatever. But
I ain't even gonna lie. I'm getting scared.
I apologize, sir. That's not my intention. Because it's a lot, sir.
This is what in the world? Where's Bishop
Omer
Omer at? I need healing. What is going on, brother? So
it gets bigger than that. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I'm asking the question though. Is this really happening in just everyday relationships? People are going to the dark side and tapping into, praying against their partner and trying to usurp their energy. And is this real?
Yes, it is.
Wow, bro. Wow. I had no
No,
idea.
because go ahead.
No, I had no
Yeah,
idea.
because he. Oh yeah, and he also had these things called palil shawls or talits or prayer shawls that he would sell also along with some beads, some prayer rugs, and some turbans and crowns and all this righteous stuff. He would spit this biblical scripture stuff also that make you sound better than other people. He was like, you should put a turban and crown on because it says in Leviticus 8:9 that the Most High or Elohim told Moses to put a turban and crown on and whatnot to represent his covenant and let him know he's part of the royal family and stuff like that. So we fed into all of that also, and we walking around here thinking that we're better than all these people, but we weren't. We was just being duped into believing that we were the stuff, but we weren't.
Hey, brother, let me just say, man, I appreciate you for bringing Jacksonville in the building. Thank you for enlightening us. I had no idea any of this was going down. Thank you, my friend. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. You already know what we got to do. You already know who's coming next. Nikki from the SIP. You already know what this is about. Come on. We need this music right now.
I sit on the banks of Jordan one day. I had to see.
Come on, cleanse the space.
Stood on the banks of Jordan.
Yes, I did. Bring them on in. Come on. Nikki from the SIP, come on in here and get us right tonight. Lord have mercy. This has been a topic.
Brothers in the fam.
Talk to us.
It's crazy.
What
This is crazy.
What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Okay. Consider this. Food for thought. Monitor spirits and stalkers at the same time. Monitor spirit rides in if you are perhaps at a low moment, maybe funeral, loss of something, and maybe someone leans in to hug you, like in falling, and transfers that spirit off of them onto you. So now it's riding in covertly. You don't recognize this riding in on you because you're in the low vibration place, but it's riding in. And because it's riding, then it turns into a stalker because it's laying in wait with that covert out, listening, overhearing, ear hustling on what you may be meditating, praying, fasting, cleansing about or over. I think Big Mama telling us to mind our business was bigger than just not being nosy. Because sometimes people ear hustle over us talking to other people about plans, thoughts, goodness coming, what have you. And we are unaware that they may be waiting for an opportunity to become monitor spirits and just ride around with us and impede, stop, slow down, alter, hinder, everything positive that you're calling in. We're not thinking about it in that sense. So they are stalking in a sense, in a real sense.
Oh, happened to the phone?
I'm here.
Okay, go finish. We listening. Come on, I'm right here with you. Keep going.
When you put those two things together, and it's not always intimate relationships, meaning intimate partners, but it can be family members too. We don't consider them because that's why I said it was covert, because you're not looking for it to come from them. Now, Pookie and Ray Ray, we know about them, but we got a couple that we aren't really suspicious of in the same way. Consider those also. Because if you notice patterns of them being around, them having heard or even heard from someone else indirectly and impede the positive things coming in your cipher, that's a monitor spirit that's stalking you.
I'm scared. Just keep going because I'm learning.
Don't be afraid. It's not an afraid, it's an awareness. Because the fact that it's covert means we don't see it coming usually. Because if you watch Constantine, you know, if you saw beetles coming out the wall, okay, we know that's a spirit, right?
Right.
Shapeshifters, got them. But it's not that one.
Wait, so are you telling me this is happening in our everyday relationships with certain folks?
Yes.
How, well, okay, help me. How do we defend against said principalities? Like, I need to understand. How do you see them?
This right here. Having the conversation.
Wait, hold on. Hold tight. We're going to go for it, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to... Nikki is giving us a lesson in dealing with these monitoring spirits.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Hey LA, be an eco-friendly hero. Join LADWP's Power Savers program and use your smart thermostat to help ease strain on the electric grid during peak electric demand. You'll save electricity while you lower your bill. Plus, as a power saver, you can get up to $185 in prepaid gift cards. Don't have a smart thermostat? No problem. Shop and sign up at ladwp.com/Power Savers program. That's ladwp.com/Power Savers program. To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Did you know there is a healthcare system serving our community whose vision is health for a better world? What if I told you one of our nation's leading healthcare providers has a department dedicated to health equity and community engagement? Providence is Southern California's largest and most comprehensive healthcare network with 11 hospitals and 40 urgent care centers. Providence treats each patient with the compassionate care they deserve, when and where they need it. Most importantly, Providence is a diverse family of people and organizations driven by the belief that health is a human right. Providence takes pride in forming community alliances that address health concerns that disproportionately impact those communities. For Minority Health Month, Providence is sponsoring Health for a Better World. Informative conversations with Providence health professionals on urban family focus every Saturday in April at 7 a.m. Get to know more at providence.org. Are you tired of being stuck without internet access? Connect and go with LA County Library. It's simple. Visit your local LA County Library location and borrow a hotspot for free to get Wi-Fi wherever you are.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though?
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Here is a clear indication of who a monitoring spirit is, okay? A monitoring spirit is a person that does not have pure, genuine intentions for you. These are the people that have ill intentions for you. They have a hidden agenda. These are the people that have not been genuine with you from the moment you met them. These people have shown you time and time again that they...
Oh my God. Nikki from the SIP, please continue your thought. Wrap your final thought for us, please, because you was cooking.
We do this right here, which is make each other aware that it exists.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever deity you follow, pray, cleanse, incense, oil, all of that. And when your spidey sense goes off, believe it.
I believe it.
And then act accordingly.
Nikki from the SIP, guess what?
I brought the SIP in the building. I love you.
We love you, Nikki from the SIP. Please keep praying for your brother Zoe Williams. I swear to God, I need everybody to pray for me this evening. We love it. Nzinga from Pensacola, Florida, get in here.
Hey, Mr. Zoe, I just wanted to say really quickly, a long time when Mr. Kevin Samuels passed away and people were saying that they, had somehow conjured his death. You were very emphatic about people not being able to do that. So I just need you to transfer that energy to yourself.
No, I got it.
I think that more people are praying, Praying, for you than anybody could be Preying on you.
I got you.
It's a lot of, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist, and I'm not saying people aren't doing it, but they don't have the power to do that. And for every one that they do, they have to get, something gets taken from them as well.
Yes.
So, there's that. So I wouldn't even worry about that, and you just do what you got to do.
Oh, we love you, Nzinga.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing Pensacola in the building. And you already know L.A. showed up at the end. South Central L.A. You already know what it is. One of the legends from L.A. You already know. J.W. Talk to us, J.W.
Yes, sir. I knew I'd be last, but I'll make it real quick. My ex, I won't go in detail. I didn't even have no idea that she would go to that hoodoo store until after she offered to take me. And then I realized, and I'm like, wow. But I knew she had what you call abandon issue because I had left a few times and kept coming back for specific reasons. I'm not going to go in detail because he might be listening. But here's the odd thing. Every time I would inadvertently mention her or somebody would bring her up in conversation and I would mention her name, she would call. Or she would knock on the front door. And we're talking about months, years later. I thought that was odd, bizarre. So I do believe in folks that practice voodoo. I do believe in narcissistic. I do believe in stalkers. I do believe in all of the above that you mentioned, even though I caught most of the show at the tail end, but yes, it applies, and it happens in real life. And that's real talk.
I
So you
believe
have
you.
to be careful, and you got to watch what you say, because like they said, you got people that has hidden agendas, and they're plotting and crafty, and their motives aren't sincere. And as the old folks used to say back in the 20s, they got their angle. What's your angle, Cookie? Hey, dang, you're a pretty cookie, boy. But what's your angle?
Yes, sir.
Pay attention.
Hey, J-Dub, man, let me just say, man, I appreciate you for calling in, man. You brought L.A. in the building. Always love when L.A. represents big time. We appreciate you. I don't even know what to say. I mean, let me just say how much I love black folk. We some spiritual folk, man. Even if it don't matter, we could be Muslim, we could be Christian, we could be whatever belief system. We know when something off. And you heard it tonight. Our people called in and told us what's up. So guess what? I start the conversations. You finish it. Up next, Tavis on the 9s. He starts at 9 a.m., but he also finishes with the replay at 9 p.m. after the VOR. Again, I start the conversation. You finish it. Hey, I'll see y'all tomorrow with another fire topic. Deuces.
When a rocket ship explodes, and everybody still wants to fly.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The fight against the removal of downtown Asheville